Rob came home and I tried to hide it from him because I was embarrassed. And he's like, "Why are you crying?" And I like hysterics, and I'm like, "The fish." He was like, "What?" I'm getting teared up now. He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "The fish. She came up from the depths because she's dying and she wanted to see the sun. I lost it."
But wait,
And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I think I'm getting
so
my
many
period."
ways. No, it's
Yeah.
so many
I was like, "I
ways.
think I'm getting my period."
No.
And then 3 minutes later, I saw a funny video and was hysterically laughing. I was like, I'm losing it, like, legitimately.
Dude, hormones are such a bitch.
Okay, but that anglerfish, it got me. It got me so bad.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
we're back. We have episode 2 happening right now. We are strapping in. Welcome back to Plot Twists and Deep Thoughts. I'm Caitlin,
I'm Kelsey.
and today we are going to be your main characters. We want to kind of get into the story of us because we have 32 years roughly under the belt in this friendship. We have a lot of miles that we've covered together. We plan on getting into our deep dives of books in the next episode, and there's a lot to cover the remainder of the year. But we really think that there are conversations that are important to have about connection, and I think that we have a really good foundation and things that we can. I don't know if advice is the right word because I don't know if anybody should really take our advice.
I think we have good advice.
I mean, selfishly, yes, I would think we do. I just don't want to be on record saying, like, you should do what we tell you to do.
No, like, don't, like, fully believe us. But, take us with, like, a very fine pinch of green salt.
I don't know. Isn't there like an Irish rock salt? Is there an Irish sea salt? Is that what it is?
Unsure.
Really? I thought you would know all the salts.
Why do you look at me and think I know salt? I mean, I do like a good salt, but like I didn't know that I was
salted
supposed to know-
butter.
Just a bit of salted butter. Just a little salt mistake, no biggie.
Oh my god. But yeah, so no topic is off limits between us, and that carries over into this room. So what we talk about, there's no filter. So we're gonna just kind of get into it and dive into how I guess how we met is probably the right place to start, even though I was 2? Were we 2?
For
3?
sure, yeah, we were like 2,
Yeah.
almost fresh out the womb. We went to the same grade school, so they had a great swing set system. I was rocking Barney, because when didn't I? He was my best friend until her.
Best friend. He was your best friend. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before. Is like trying to remember. Do you remember us meeting or no? Because we were like too young. I mean, I have such a blotchy memory of elementary school.
I remember, like, if you show me a picture,
Yeah.
I remember the moment, but like I couldn't be like, oh yeah, well, we were 2, and I was with Graham, and we were walking up to the swings, and like I couldn't
Like
do
we
that,
can piece it
but
together
yeah.
because we've been told it a million times, and like that was just a story that my parents loved to tell growing up, and it was like the quintessential childhood, right? Like I lived on the road that the elementary school was on, like 6 houses up from it. Kelsey lived, I mean, across the street basically and up a driveway from the elementary school, and so that was just like an easy meeting spot. And so it was just a nice kind of, I don't know, it was easy. We met one day, and then it was just kind of like, I feel like now as a parent, you like meet somebody and you're like, oh, my kid gets along with this kid. This is so easy. I'm just going to go. They're going to like the what's the word I'm looking for? Proximity.
Yeah.
It just worked. Yeah. So by proximity, that's how I feel like I kind of form my kids' friends now. So I'm sure it was probably similar. Like my mom was able to come down and like maybe she read a book if that's what she was doing back then. And we got to play. But I remember feeling like I needed to bring something to the playground because you brought Barney all the time. And so I was like, oh, Kelsey always has Barney, so like I should bring something to push in the swing too.
So I don't remember, like I wish I had a better memory like that. But I just remember like certain moments and I think because class was so darn small in grade
Yeah.
school. It was like very easy to like find somebody, latch on to them, and like that was it essentially, you know. And it was like we liked all the same things. We liked playing with Barbies. We liked, you didn't really like Barney, but that was okay. I was just like, I was big into it till he fell off the treehouse, if you know, you know. uh but we like the same things, and then I think it just bled into every other aspect of life.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I think because we are so intertwined that like I don't remember, but I don't think it's like a bad thing. I think it's just
No.
like beyond being like, hey, we were young, but it
You know
just
what?
also like
It
I don't
reminds me-
remember me without you.
It reminds me of like the way it's like it's cosmic in the sense of like there's no before us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't remember. Like I know I was born in Hampton Bays, and then we moved out to Amagansett. No recollection of Hampton
Yeah.
Bays. I have no recollection. Wow, that word is not working for me tonight. No recollection of my life before you. But yeah, what are some of the earlier classroom memories of like probably maybe us driving some of them crazy, or oh god, what? You already have something locked and
do.
loaded.
Okay, well, I mean, high school we were terrors.
Yeah,
So
we
I
haven't gotten
think-
there yet. We'll get to
Yeah.
that later.
But in grade school, I remember such a dick to you. But I remember we were reading it. I think it must have been, it was 5th or 6th grade. We were reading in the corner, and I pretended to choke. And you freaked the fuck out. And then I
Oh
was like,
my
haha,
God.
just kidding. And I think you started crying. I felt so bad after.
Damn, dude,
You're
5th or
like,
6th
"Oh."
grade? That's weak.
Yeah. Well, okay, but that's
No, that's weak for me.
Oh,
meaning,
okay.
like, the
I
fact
was
that would
like-
make me cry.
I was like,
I cried a lot, I feel like.
I cry a lot now. So the roles have role reverse.
I was like, they're looking at me.
I remember that, and I just remember just going, we had such great imaginations back then.
Oh,
And just like all the games that we would play at your house, and like
my driveway was
your driveway was a river, the trees were our house.
The best trees.
We were like just like adventuring. Oh god,
Yeah.
the best trees.
in the bushes.
Yes.
Like everything. For some reason, I had like these crazy, like hideaways. They were all like caves and
yeah, they were like evergreens, but they were like dug out on one
Yeah,
side.
and not intentionally. Like I
Yeah.
don't know who went and scalped like the 3 bushes at the head of the driveway. Remember that
Yeah.
was like you could go in there and it was
It was my favorite.
like a
yeah.
tent.
Yeah.
And then just the bushes. I mean, I don't know what kind of bushes they are. I'd have to ask Ryan, but yeah.
I said
those are-
evergreen. That's wrong, but they're green.
I forget. Like they're like
and
the
they're like the
hedge.
rounder, bushier ones.
Because they weren't like the piney,
No.
like
And they have the bark that like ripped very nicely.
yeah. Oh, so satisfying.
So good. But like I remember, I think I remember more because I just didn't like school in general. I
Yeah.
like wasn't a school person. I think I remember more fondly the after school moments, or just like us riding
yeah.
our bikes, rollerblading.
Well, and also I
you
feel
know,
like
playing the violin and stuff
elementary
like that.
school is so weird because kids are mean. Like I think, and also I think I don't think we ever really had to try too hard. At least if we're sticking to elementary school real quick, we didn't have to try too hard. We knew we had each other. Yeah, I don't know. I think that although you know what's funny is like I don't have a whole lot of memories of us going to the beach at that age, like really little.
Not really. I have.
And,
I
like,
still
why
have the
wouldn't we?
picture that for when you cut out for the memories.
Yeah.
Wood. It's not a statue. Whatever the thing is. Wood words.
The sign.
Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. Whoopsies. Memory is great. But I have that picture, and like I like remember that day, and like I remember a day we both brought. Remember the Barbie dolphin that went
Yes.
when you press the lever.
I
and we
love
got like
Of course,
salt water and sand in
yeah.
it, and it stopped working. So like I remember stuff like that because it was like
Yeah.
heartbreaking. But yeah, I don't remember going to the beach that often until we were a little bit older and
Yeah.
like we went by ourselves.
Right, like high school,
Yeah.
we would walk down to the beach and stuff. Yeah.
But even middle school, like I don't have like
Yeah, for some reason I don't feel like my
middle
mom
school
might
was also
have
fleeting. It was only 2 years.
Yeah, that was
so
a-
it was like not as like ingrained in my brain, I guess.
Yeah, that was a weird blur. That whole transition from elementary school to middle school was like that was painful.
Yeah, that was real bad.
They take like a classroom. We had a classroom. What did we graduate with? Like
14.
11. Was it 14?
It was 14 kids.
Okay, that's a little bit more
yeah.
than I even thought because I thought we lost.
It was
a few,
8
but
girls and 8.
We had like 4 boys, right? Who was left? 5 boys.
Or maybe it was 13 kids. I thought maybe it was like 8 and 5 or something like that. Small, regardless.
Yeah.
Like
So
then
and that was
yeah.
that was most of the class for most of our elementary school. Maybe there was there might have been like 5 more kids throughout pre-K through 6th grade that like left earlier. And then you go into the middle school where like now did Montauk come over to the middle school or not till high school?
I think it's just high school. But
Same
even
thing with Springs. You guys had your you guys Springs goes till 8th grade. So but we had East Hampton that had been together forever because they all go
Yeah,
from
and
John
so then
Marshall
you
to
try to
middle
like
school.
integrate yourself
And they're
into
like, so these
that
are the
school.
weird. We're like the
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We're like the homeschooled kids without being the no
Yeah.
shame for
We like
homeschooling.
didn't leave our classrooms except for like music class or gym class.
Yeah.
And so then when we had actual periods, it was like the weirdest thing because I
Yeah.
was like the bell would ring, I'd be like, oh, I have to get up, and now within
I
like
was
2.5
so
minutes, I gotta
terrified.
run across the entire
Yeah.
school to get to the other classroom, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, no, it was way different.
Cuter boys. That's when I first saw Rob, middle
What
school.
did you say?
Cuter boys. That is when I first laid eyes on him.
No way.
Because because he was Steven and him, like they both wrecked on their Steven's my cousin. They both wrecked on their they both wrecked on their motorcycles. And so Steven had 2 broken legs and he was in a
I
wheelchair.
remember that. Yeah.
And I was in Miss McGinty's class. And remember how hers was like at the end of the hallway and then the stairs were there?
Mhm.
Across the hallway was the elevator.
Okay.
They would take the elevator almost every time. And so Steven, I would say hi to Steven because we're related. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, Steven. And I just remember Robbie was like his cute friend with like the mop hair and like the curls.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like,
Skater boy.
Yeah, I was like, he's so cute. I was very big into.
I know.
I still like skater. Whatever. I was big into skater boys, I guess. And like I just remember seeing him and I was like, oh my god. But like I think he maybe said hi to me once. I was not. He was here in the echelons of popularity, and I was like
Well,
down here.
Is he a year older than us?
He
No,
is, yeah.
Is he that?
Mm-hmm.
He's young.
Yeah, his late birthday
Yeah.
too. So I think that
That's right.
threw a wrench in everything. But I remember sporadic things about middle school.
Yeah.
Not really a whole lot.
When did we first start having sleepovers? Because that's a hot topic now as a
Oh.
parent. We were young. I feel like.
But I think also we were so close that I felt like we both felt. Well, I like to go into your house.
I
more.
know.
Well, surprise! I like going to your house more.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
hanging out more.
I was just explaining to someone today. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was almost like one weekend we'd be at Kelsey's house, one weekend we'd be at my house.
Yeah, it was just we lived so close. I think it was just easier because it's like. Also, it was the 90s and
Dude.
early 2000s, so we would just walk.
I was just gonna
walked to
say,
Caitlin's
like,
house.
I remember my mom would be such a brat sometimes about a play date, right? And especially on like snow days or something, I'd use the house phone and I'd be like, hey, if you just show up, she won't kick you out. So I'd be like, just walk. She said no to a play date, but if you walk over, and you would, you just show
There'd
up.
be
And
like
be
2 feet of snow. I'd
Yeah.
be trudging my ass up the road. I'd be like, yeah, it's fine.
yeah,
Like half frozen. I'd be like, I'm here to hang out.
yeah. I'd be like, my mom kicked me out, told me to do something.
Yeah. So here I am. But I think that's a thing where like I guess it's not. I also think the younger kids today, it's just like it's a different time.
It is a different time.
So it's like
I think it is coming
Yeah.
full circle a little bit though, and in as much of a way as it can, because where we are right now, I love this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like I love that there will be all of a sudden one dad will have 6 kids on bikes and will knock on the door and be like, does Scarlett want to come out and ride bikes? And I'll be like,
Yeah.
and she'll just slap a helmet on and go out.
Yeah.
And like if we're playing in the yard, like you'll hear, we have Izzy next door who will be like yelling over the fence and be like,
Yeah.
do you want to do this? And like it is, someone will say, oh, we're heading to the beach. Let me grab Scarlett and see. So it is like slowly trying to be. And I think that's because our generation that's raising now is I think millennials are ruled by nostalgia. Like
Yeah.
we really are.
Yeah.
Because I do think we had one of the best final.
We had the childhood before technology really took over and like
Yeah.
social media and all that stuff.
And so I think it was such an interesting way to grow up where we still had the computer, we still had the phones, we had the cool TV shows kind of happening, but we had
But like I didn't have a cell phone till like maybe 8th grade, I think. And it was like a prepaid one, you know.
Oh, I had and everything I got was either my mom's hand-me-down
Yep.
or Chris's hand-me-down cell phone because that was my first flip phone and it was just that green screen.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd put just enough on it for me to call because I was like, my mom was forcing me to do the plays.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember that.
fucking, it's terrible.
What a good time. But yeah, I think it was just I think the dynamic you have in your neighborhood now was kind of what we had because then Kate was up the road too,
Yeah.
and so then we'd spend some weekends with Kate.
Well, dude, we just we explored all of Amagansett.
We were just like those slightly feral barefoot kids.
Yeah. And like Tony would throw pizza. R.I.P. Tony. Like Tony would throw pizza out the door at us, and like you always know. And like Connie would like Connie would let us hang out there. It was there was shenanigans, but it was just very much a great little small town.
Yeah. Before Talk House became Talk House, or
I feel like it always was,
well,
but now like everything's influenced
Yeah.
now. So like everything's
Bigger.
raged out on social media.
Yeah.
Because like I remember being able to like in the dead of winter going out and like we'd lay on Main Street in Amagansett and just like look at the stars and
I
be
still
like,
have
this
pictures
is
of me pretending to direct traffic.
Yeah, and there was no
Insane.
traffic.
Yeah.
Which is like unheard of now. Just for context, we live in Amagansett, New York, which is East Hampton. So we have East Hampton, Montauk, Amagansett. If you don't know the Hamptons, which I hate to say it that way, but we do live in the Hamptons. It's a very popular destination. But
Life
we were
has changed quite a
super
lot.
lucky to grow up here.
Yeah.
Very beautiful, super cute small town Amagansett was, very close knit. A lot of us, a handful of us are still here now, either raising kids or just working and doing our thing. But yeah.
I think we covered childhood quite well.
I know. I'm trying to think of like, what do you think that like our foundation, if we go back to childhood for a quick second, how do you think it made it stick for us? Because before we get like, I think what chapters is going to take us into is like probably some of the harder portions of our friendship that came later, because I don't think any relationship is without some
turmoil. Turmoil.
So
ups and
I feel like
downs.
there has to have been something in child and not to like answer my own question.
No, go for it.
From my perspective, I just feel like, again, it was almost like cosmic. Like I do think that we have, I know we were talking right before this episode, before we started recording, like past lives. And Kelsey's like, I do think this is my first time on Earth, but I don't like, I think we've known each other eons. Like, you know,
we were almost stars together.
Yeah, we were carved of the same, you know.
The same asteroid, that's us.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I act like this is my first time on Earth. Is it? I don't know. But yeah, I think that I don't know. I think we just liked similar things, and I think it just fell in place. That's the thing. I don't think there was like a turning point where it was like, oh no, she's my best friend. It just was.
It just was. I think I agree.
And we didn't have to work very hard for it to be something.
Especially in childhood. Like we were just there. We were just always like, we kind of knew, we always gravitated back to each other.
Yeah.
Even as we tried to navigate other friendships and see who else melded into our little duo here. Okay. Middle school, high school.
Okay, well, middle school, again, I don't...
I know, we kind of covered a little bit.
That was a little fleeting, so I really don't remember...
Do you think boys started for us in middle school?
I
know we had crushes in elementary school, but like...
I guess I technically had my first boyfriend in, like, PJ. I don't know. But it was like, we hugged.
Wait, PJ, like...
Hi,
was
here's some kid.
Was that the Kate, like... No, am I thinking of a different PJ?
Who's that? I don't know. He was.
Who did we make wear riding pants at Kate's house?
Shout out Luke, poor guy. And that was when Peter came out. Hey Peter, shout you out, buddy.
Oh my god, I was just talking about.
No,
Peter.
that was Peter. That was Peter and Luke when they came out. I guess I had a crush on. I think that was like, you know what?
And I think the thing PJ? Too. This is what I'm talking about. Like we've known each other for 30 something years. And I'm like, I blacked grade, out.
I used to when I was hanging out. I think I was hanging out with Leanne. Maybe she introduced me to.
Was he in our school?
No, I dated him for like a month. I hugged him once. Okay. It wasn't like
well. He was if we're gonna like, count that, what about Robert's fucking friends? Like my cousin.
Oh, that's true. Oh wait, I guess technically, yeah. I don't know. Well, that was the thing. It was still so it was just so juvenile. I don't think, you know, and it was
relationships
like
don't. That was not relationships.
But yeah, I think also because it was just such we went to a school where there was more than just the 5 boys
Yeah.
we ever grew up with.
But the funny thing is going from your elementary school crush, which we will not name names, to middle school.
Relatively look the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
Just like
yeah.
a foot and a
Yeah.
half shorter.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing. I remember being
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you type."
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. And then I just
And then it started to
with
branch
Rob I
out.
just strayed all the way to
Well,
the right.
I think there's a few people that shifted between there, but not. Sorry. Was that rude?
That was fun.
I was like, well,
yeah,
the
a couple,
roster
like,
there.
a
Just kidding.
couple-
We're
a
not going to
couple of
talk about
boys.
rosters.
Yeah, we are.
No,
You.
I will shut this down so fast.
Get the notepad out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it wasn't just the 5 guys that we
Yeah.
grew up with and had known literally since I don't know pre-K.
Diapers.
It was like new territory.
That
It was
was-
fresh meat
That
or
was
whatever
always
they say.
my argument, though. Like, even when Ryan and I talk now, he's like, he goes, it's funny that we'll go around town. Like, you don't really have ex-boyfriends here. I'm like, no. Like, I avoided it like the plague. I had a few crushes. If those were fun to hang out with for a little while, that was great. Otherwise, I was like, you knew everybody's business. Like, we
Yeah.
are in a small town. Even when we went to middle school and high school, it was like you became friends with a girl and it was like, oh my God, I'm in love with so-and-so. And I was like, all right, well, I was never
Yeah.
that type of girl that was like, I think that's why we also worked, is like we
Yeah.
never had the same taste in boys.
Yeah.
Like, there was never any crossover of like, oh my God, you like him, bitch, I like him.
Yeah.
Like that would have, I mean, boys occasionally came between us, but that was either because like I didn't vibe with them or like whatever, which we can get into if we have to. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm trying to think of what were some of our more chaotic teenage. I mean, we were a little terrors.
We were terrors.
Like high school came and we were like, we thought we were the fucking shit.
Oh my God. We just
You couldn't tell us anything.
You can tell us anything. God help you if you put us in a class together.
Yeah.
And that only happened actually one time. No,
No,
twice.
Are you serious? I was gonna say like no, it definitely happened more than that because I was just gonna ask like who do you think we annoyed the shit out of more, Mr. Grindle or Mrs. Shaw?
Oh my God. I think Grindle had a love for us
I
and
think
our
he did.
annoyances. Miss Shaw, I don't think she did.
She did not appreciate.
She did not like
appreciate
us
it.
one bit, man.
And I still regret to this day the last day of school that I had fuck boy in the car with me who was banned from school. So when I pulled up and he was in the car and I didn't know this, we pulled up from because we used to have off periods and so we'd leave for an hour or however.
I was devastated.
I was so mad because I was like,
yeah.
I really wanted to like that was I feel like that was my idea. Where it was like we should get her flowers and like apologize and like be like thanks for putting up with us all year.
Yeah.
Like this was senior year, we were about to graduate, and we had put this teacher through hell, and not even on purpose. Like we weren't bad kids. We just
there was a lot of quote unquote bad kids in one classroom.
but also like you put Kelsey and I in the same thing, and listen, we can communicate without words, so we would look at each other. And we'd just start laughing because we'd know exactly what the other person was thinking.
Yeah.
And so the giggles, Kelsey thinks she can whisper. She cannot whisper. So
I've gotten like the tiniest bit better at that, just a little bit. I'm a
We'll
loud
test that.
person. Yeah.
we'll do an ASMR episode and see what we get done. But we really, and then also she didn't like if we used the Lord's name in vain. And so
Which was often.
it was often, and then we would do it on purpose. We'd be like, "What would Jesus do, Mrs. Shaw?" And she'd be like, "How are you doing
Why would you ask that? We're like, I don't know.
that?" Because what would he do?
Yeah, what do you do?
And so the last day of school comes around and we're like, oh, we'll get her flowers and apologize and just be like, listen, thanks for putting up with us. Because she could have absolutely had one of us
She
removed.
did. Do you not remember
She had one of us removed?
that? Me. Yeah. It was our final. We finished our final, but she put us across from each other at the long tables.
If we can see each other, it's a problem.
Well, okay, but you wrote, and I'll never forget
Oh,
this because
no.
I busted out laughing.
yeah.
Okay,
I don't remember what I wrote, but
Caitlin wrote on the back of her test, Jesus is watching you,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
put that pube in your teeth or some shit. It was like the dumbest thing, but it was 8th period.
wow, I love that you
It was
remember
the
that.
fun. because I got kicked out, I think, and I just busted out laughing. And she goes, "Get out, go to the
Oh,
office." And I was like,
no.
"Okay." I already took my final, so I was like, "Sick. All right, I'm done." I go sit down in in the front at the office, and the woman I've been sitting there for like 15 minutes. She goes, she goes, why are you here? And I go, oh, I got kicked out of like, Miss Shaw's class. And she goes, why? And I go, I laughed. And she goes, just go. And I was
Oh
like,
my
okay,
God.
thanks.
I know. I think we had just at that point we had there were days where I could tell we wore her down. Like,
Yeah.
But I agree. Mr. Grindle definitely had a soft spot for us, but
Yeah.
he also started with us. He had us since 7th grade.
Yeah.
So he already knew as soon as we kind of joined orchestra.
He knew what he was getting into.
He knew.
Yeah.
The fact that he let us sit together every time is really amazing. Like really amazing.
Yeah.
And then when
Caitlin took it serious. I did not. I strung some notes together and hoped for the best.
well, my mom made me do like NYSSMA and all that stuff, so I had to know a little bit. What
I did
was
it in
doing.
grade school, but I didn't do it in high
Oh
school.
my God, the pressure of that,
yeah.
dude. Fuck. There's nothing like sitting in a room with like 3 adults and you're going and they just put a sheet of paper, like
Yeah, and
music
you're like,
in front of you,
great.
and you're like,
I
okay.
can't read sheet music anymore.
I probably could actually.
It's like hieroglyphics. What is
but
this?
I have to, I would love to actually take out my violin. I have it still,
I would too.
but-
It's not tuned.
No, it's not
and
tuned.
I don't
and
know.
I think it's beyond I
don't
think
know
I
how
need
to
to have
tune
it.
it
Yeah, I thought
either.
about
yeah.
but shout out Mr. Grindle. He's still in a band
Mhm.
locally and we go, well, have you gone with me?
I
to
have
see
a
him
couple
yet?
of times.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
He's
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah. What a great man.
Yeah.
But yeah, unbelievable that what I meant by like they didn't separate us is like Mrs. Shaw at any point that year could have been like, no, you guys need to, you're going into a different, because that was like child
development.
was it
Yeah.
like development or psychology or something.
It's like probably was child psychology. Oh no.
Something. Says a lot about us.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, high school is weird in the sense that like I think we had one, I still forget that there was that one, like I don't think it was a full year where we did not really
Yeah.
talk. Yeah, that was
my bad. It was a rough. It was a rough.
it was,
time.
but it wasn't your bad. It was like I just couldn't get over you know who, and we had our issues, and I was like, I can't be around you.
Yeah.
Which is totally valid. Again, like I this bleeds into like adult life now for me, where I'm like, I will never force somebody
Mhm.
to like necessarily choose, right? It's like I'm just gonna know my boundaries, and if I can't be around that person, and that's who you want to be around. But yeah, I think that was
yeah.
that was one year. Because I think that this.
I think that was I think there's really only been 2 times.
So that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to look at us and people probably think that, at least people that have known our history a little bit, they might assume that like, oh, friendship is easy or effortless, but it's still a relationship, and I think that it still takes work. And for us, what's always worked is, I think we've always had pretty reasonable communication.
Yeah.
But if you had to pinpoint one or the 2 times where we definitely almost like what would have broken a different friendship had it not been ours?
Probably, you know who?
Yeah.
He who shall not be named. That
Like
situation,
Let's call
yeah,
him Voldemort.
that situation in high school, and then I also think, I'm trying to think. So that situation, and then when I'm gonna call it the Mary's Marvelous situation with the other she who shall not be named. Telling your mom that we weren't friends anymore.
Oh, well, okay, interesting. Because see, I would have thought for some reason,
Yeah.
and we're going to circle back to that. I would have thought it would have been a little bit of my college era.
For sure. I think college was hard too because you grew and I was still here, and I like kind of, it was like a
I could see that.
like a hamster wheel a bit.
I think I was so terrified too that when you found out of my partying, quote unquote, we'll use, I was like, oh no, she's gonna like fully.
Yeah.
And I think there was that was a drift, right? Like we definitely were like, okay, Kate's doing this, I'm not into that scene. I'm gonna go over here for a little bit. But again, I think we still kind of
I think it was
together,
just more I think it was more worry than anything else. And I didn't know how I didn't know how to vocalize it or like bring it up to you without feeling like I was like, oh, I don't want her to get mad at me for like
That's
saying like,
valid.
hey, I don't think what you're doing is healthy, or
Yeah.
you know, whatever word I would have used at the time.
I think everybody, and this goes for Leanna too, is like everyone was like, yeah, didn't know how to broach the situation. One, because I don't think you guys really experienced like that side of, you know,
yeah.
whatever.
No, for sure, I didn't. No.
And so, and for me, it was a coping mechanism for those 2 years or whatever. But for some reason, I was like, oh, I feel like that. That I put a lot of blame on myself. I feel like that I caused a rift in multiple friendships at that time in my life. But yes, that incident, I remember that night like plain as day. Like we're sitting at dinner. It was my parents, Ryan. I think Robert was with us, and then my uncle Rick, which was like so random. He was like, "I'm gonna come out and we'll go to dinner." I'm like, "Okay." This was the summer. This was only a few months. It was like 2 months after Skip passed away, which is actually ironically today's anniversary. And so, without getting into too much detail, my uncle commits suicide, and I was like beside myself. Obviously, like it just changed my life. It was super traumatic. It was super close with him. Today marks 12 years. And a mutual friend of, and you were, I literally like was driving today home, just like remembering you pulling into that driveway, because I think I had sent like a text or something being like, hey, Skip, did this today. And within an hour, you were pulling in my driveway, and I'm like, Kelsey saved my life that day. Like I was, that was a broken moment. And so I think it was a couple months later. We're out to dinner, and my mom goes, "Oh, I saw a mutual friend of Kelsey's and mine," and she told my mom basically that like, "Oh, Kelsey and I are just done with Caitlin because she like doesn't call us anymore, or doesn't do this or that." It's like I forget
which like in, well, no defense to her because I don't like her, but I there's a hill I'm dying on. I did voice. Which I thought it was a safe space to voice that, like, like I had felt a certain way, or I felt like we, because of what had happened.
Yeah.
He wasn't my uncle, but I was also grieving. You know, it was so.
You were 100% grieving.
It was very. It was like a tangled web, like because I was also grieving, but I wanted to also be there for you, and then I felt like because Felicia had gone through something similar. You guys had gotten a lot closer, and so then it was like jealousy at the same. It was very.
I also was working at the golf club too. Like I quit my job. I never went back to my job. You know? I went and worked at the golf course. So Felicia was with me every day in there, and I did. I was definitely a shell of myself. I was not. That was the hardest thing to climb back out of, and I'm different. 100% I was different, and I knew that. And I remember walking out of the dinner after my mom told me that and like crying. So I was just like, oh my God. And I think that's when I started to realize like I do have to focus on some of my other relationships. I can't just like dig myself into this like grief hole. But I remember calling you right away and be like, hey, and I wasn't even mad. Like I don't remember being mad at all. I just remember being like, oh no, I have to fix this because I love you and that's not the situation. And but I just remember being like, oh my God, I didn't even realize, because it just, the level of grief that I think we all were in was like, the shock of it and everything like that was
that actually honestly might have been one of the only times I actually was like devastated by a friend to like back. It felt like a backstab, and I've never felt that level of like betrayal, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, I do think that because I think she weaponized it. I think she took it, and like she knew that by saying that to my mom was going to say something to me. And I was going to be like, so you're just done with me? My uncle commits suicide, and you're like,
it literally,
fucking never talking to you again,
said something
bitch.
like that, and I remember my stomach dropped, and I said, what are you talking about? And you're like, well, so-and-so told my mom that you didn't want to be my friend. I said, I'm sorry, what?
And I remember telling you, I was like, listen, I get if you're upset with the fact that I've checked out, and like totally valid. And I remember being like, I'm just letting you know that this was said. It affects our friendship in no way. We will fix this, because that's, like, you matter more to me than anything else, you know?
I remember when I confronted her about it, and I told her that she was like, well, what, did you and Caitlin meet up? And I said, well, yeah. And she goes, oh, so you guys are still friends? I said, we're never not going to be. Like, I was like, we're never not going to be. And I said, but you and me, we're done, babe.
Yeah. And I remember that being the thing where I was like, if she's willing to say this kind of thing, like, that's not a true and if you're willing to do that to somebody when they're at their lowest point, like that was, you know, such a tough few months for me. The first year of it, even still now, it's 12 years later, and I had a rough week. Like, it is what it is. But I remember being like, you're just gonna try and like shank this,
Yeah.
wedge into it and just dig me deeper. It was that was
That
fucked up.
yeah, that was rough. Sophomore year was rough. But like I except probably those 2 times were the only
Yeah.
time. Well, I even sophomore year, I knew once we got rid of
Yeah.
the problem, it wasn't. We would bounce back.
Well, and the thing is like, if anything were to happen, like, I was always waiting in the wings of like, okay, when she's ready, we'll fix this. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's where I think my mindset is always at that place where I'm like, again, there's never not going to be a Caitlin and Kelsey. There's just like life takes you on this ride, and none of it is parallel. Is that the word I want to use, or linear? Like and I think about this with like Ryan and I. Sometimes we're like, you're in a marriage, you're one of you might grow and mature, and then the other one's kind of like, I'm just riding along and fucking not taking anything too seriously, and then the one person might plummet and the other person grows, and like, it's just, there's ebbs and flows, and there's growing pains, and yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm glad that we
No,
I'm
it's okay.
not doing a good job of
Yeah.
eloquently stating that, but I do,
Yeah.
I feel like we've weathered some good shit in
Yeah.
30 years.
I think I think those were the only. I think honestly, around the time that Skip passed, I think really that was the only time where I was like, when that happened, and because it wasn't from my mouth, and it was like a secondhand thing going
100%.
on. Then I was like, I was like, you were already in a vulnerable position. I was like, I'm nervous that like that was
and
gonna be.
you were hurting too, because Skip was as much a part of your life.
But I was nervous. I was like, after you called me, I was like, oh no, like, same thing. I felt like I was like this innate need to fix what had happened, but I was also like, oh, like, I don't want this to be like, I was like, you're already in such a vulnerable, sad and just upset, and I was like, who's to say like this isn't just like where you're like, all right,
the
well,
catalyst.
fuck you, what,
I get it.
like, that's it.
But the whole reason I called you was to just reinstate that, like, no, you're my person, and like, just because this was said doesn't, it's not, we're good. Like, that was really a whole reason, because that's like, is it the Sagittarius in me? Like, I can't conflict has to be resolved pretty quickly. Like, same thing if I fight with Ryan. Like, I cannot go to bed angry. I can't sit there and let something like fester. I have to say, like, oh shit, I'm gonna call you out on this. We're gonna hash it out right now, and then like, we're good, and it'll be fine.
And that's why, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth, don't believe it.
Yeah, friendships are tough. But to turn it into a lighter note,
yes.
Do we want to play a game?
Oh, do we?
Let's see if we can figure out how to do this. Our wonderful IT and sound girl, she found us some questions. So we're going to do a little friendship trivia and see how terrible we are. Because we were trying to figure out, like, I was like, I don't even know if I'd know what ice cream to grab you which is like crazy when you think about it. It's like 30 years of friendship. I'm like, I probably would know. And I'd go to the store and I'm just like, my gut is going to tell me which one to grab and it'll be right, But like, when you think about it, I'm like, can I name it?
Yeah. Well, it's like what I said before with that, I think it's a meme I saw, but it's like, it's your good friend or it's your best friend because you only have like 3 pictures and like you don't hug, and as adults we hug, but
a little bit.
But
That's not our love language.
No. Bullying is love language, okay?
Yep.
But yeah, I find that so true because it's like when we're in the moment, we're in the moment, and I never think about taking pictures or like anything like that, you know?
I know. Okay, do you want to start? You want to pick one?
Let's do it. Who's more likely to get banned from somewhere by accident?
Well, bam. Yeah.
Kelsey.
Right,
immediately. Immediately.
No further questions, Your Honor.
None. I didn't get banned from Claire's, but like,
I was just trying to think of places where I'm like, where has she not been allowed back? And yeah, Claire's for sure. Was there another one? Why am I thinking there was another? Were you not? You were allowed at the library.
Yeah, I don't, there's just certain places that the vibe's off and I get, they judge me. But let me tell you, if you go to any department store with me, that's such an old 90s saying. Department store? What is this? National Lampoon's Christmas? Okay. Anyway, like Target, I'm not wearing red. I'm not wearing khakis.
Oh, yeah,
and I get do you work here? I've gotten it at CVS 3 times in the same time frame of
Did
being
that
at
happen
CVS.
when we were together recently when we were shopping?
Yeah, and
Okay.
when I tell you, first off, I don't want to be approachable, so like, don't approach me.
That's wild.
Like, what about me is approachable? I don't like that.
But you know what's so funny? When we went shopping recently and we were walking, like every store we went into, I said to Ryan later that night, I was like, this is why Kelsey and I are so emotionally drained at the end of the day, because we were so overly friendly to everyone. Hi, how are you? Hey, have a great day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then we're like holding the doors
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
And then
we
on the
don't
way home,
stop.
I'm a mute.
Yes,
Yeah,
we were
I'm
like,
no. But like, not one store that
so
I
you're
go
like, I don't want to
into-
be approachable, but I'm gonna say all of the friendly things.
Well, not even.
I know, give me
I'm
the
at-
option.
I'm at
Don't
CVS.
come up to me.
I have
Yeah.
like cough syrup, cough drops. I'm not in CVS attire. I don't know what CVS attire is. I don't look like I work there. And some guy goes, 2 people in a row, hey, do you work here? And I go, what? And I literally, the second person, I go, what gives you that idea? I was like, what about me looks like I work here?
Yeah.
I was like, I was like,
genuinely, I need to know.
yeah, I was like, no, I'm being so, it was some older guy. I was
Have
like,
you brought
no,
this
I'm
up in
being
therapy
so-
yet?
I think I have actually, but I literally was like, what? I was like, I'm being so honest
Yeah.
right now because like I need to know.
Yeah.
Because you're the second person in 10 minutes that's
Yeah.
asked me. I was
Oh
like,
my
am I
God.
perusing too much? Like, am I
I don't think I give off that vibe.
spending too long? I had a
Am I living in
purse.
this aisle?
Yeah, I had my pocketbook. I was like, what are we doing here?
That's so weird.
I also heard that is, we're diverting a lot.
Yeah.
Having a little ADD moment, but I heard that is a using pocketbook is like a very like tri-state area thing.
Pocketbook, like the word.
Yeah, but see the way I was taught how to say it is like pocketbook.
What did I
Like
say?
pocketbook.
Did I not say? What did I say?
You said pocketbook.
Oh, my bad for enunciating.
I know.
Also,
I
do you like my rabbit adjustment? Do we both
Yeah.
do that?
I do that.
Okay. Anyway,
It's great. Okay, so
next
anyway,
question.
sorry.
I just say purse.
don't approach
I've
me in
never
stores.
said pocketbook.
Unless you're a fan, approach me. Do it.
Do we have fans?
I'll sign anything.
We
I
have
don't
fans
know.
already? Episode
Maybe.
2. Fuck yeah,
We'll take
fans!
selfies, pictures, anything.
I will sign your name with my toes.
He will. Whenever you
She's got
want,
cute
man. Feet pics. I don't know, whatever.
Oh my god. All right, let's see. All right, so we did that one. What is my comfort show? So we're answering from both of us.
Okay.
Easy. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Kelsey, Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck
we got it.
High five the
Hi.
boys.
Yeah.
Kelsey, Gilmore Girls, me, Supernatural.
Always. I do love me some Supernatural also. So what do I do with my hands? I don't know. I'm struggling. Freaking Bobby.
Just go like this.
Yeah, I would. That's how I sleep.
I know it is. That's why I said
That's how I sleep, man.
it.
So sorry. I
All
don't
right, you're next.
know. What trend did I fully commit to that should have been
You've
stopped?
been dying to ask this one since you saw it on there.
I have. Okay.
All right, so all right, we're answering for both again. I don't know. I actually can't. I'm nervous. There's for me, I feel like there's a lot.
Oh no, I came up with a new one for you.
Oh no.
Argyle knee-high socks.
When did I do that?
You did, bitch.
I actually
Maybe
I love
you
over
have
the knee socks.
You have long legs, so I guess
Yeah.
for you they were
I
like
love an
calf
over the
high.
knee boot.
Do you not wait? Hold on.
So
Reverse it. Crunchy gel curls and straight bangs. Yes. Okay, but I put bottle blonde, straight hair, and fuck ass side bangs.
I like that we both attacked your hair.
Yeah.
I was like,
You don't remember? I vivid.
did I wear them out in public?
Well, we wore flared pants.
Okay, but they were under. I love
Yeah.
that you know what was under
We
my
were bell-
jeans.
we were the bell bottoms.
I went PacSun
hoodies.
hoodies and my cat Converse.
Okay, that was big.
All
I'm just
right.
trying to join in.
Let's
Jesus.
keep going.
Okay.
2 more questions, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna die first in a horror movie? You know the answer, bitch. Kelsey.
Obviously. Okay, but on a deserted island, I might be able to survive.
For sure. Yeah, if it's not a horror movie, you're fine.
Because
but if it's just a survival movie.
I have a lot of storage in this body of mine. All right? It's built for famine. I've said this before and I'll say it again.
All right. And then last one, I'll ask it. Sorry, I'm taking over. What's the funniest?
Surprise. Just kidding.
Color me surprised.
Color me surprised.
What's the funniest thing we got in trouble for? Do we even have to write that down? All right, fine. I'll do it. Oh, yeah. I kind of cheated. I have 2 little things down. I mean,
I was gonna do a repeat because my brain's not working.
That's okay.
Right
Do
now.
it.
Okay. Okay, you go first. Okay.
Me getting arrested and Jesus's pubes.
Okay, I put Jesus pubes, 8th period, senior year, 8th period, Jesus pubes.
Yeah.
See, getting arrested was
I
funny
know.
for you. It wasn't. It was traumatizing
because
for
I didn't
me.
take anything
Actually,
seriously.
I was traumatized.
They were telling I got arrested when we were what? Was I 17? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We had someone with a stutter in the car who the cop decided to go to first. And then we had an unknown fugitive in the car. So we were
one of our
really...
friends' boyfriends had a warrant out for his arrest. And when they looked up, I was driving, we were parked. And
Never park at the beach in the middle of January at like 9 p.m. at night.
but that was crazy. We had literally just come from my house to go down there and like
Okay.
we were hoodlums smoking cigarettes in the car.
Okay.
And the cop and like literally did not see him pull all the way down the road.
Because we
he was
were
right up
high.
behind me. And I was like, oh shit, there's headlights right at the back of my car. And then gets out,
berries and
walks up.
cherries.
I'm like, fuck. But yeah, that was traumatizing for you. It's one of those things where I look back now and I laugh because
Well,
it was
I know.
just
And then I got arrested like 2 months later, so.
fully taken in.
Twins. Cop car.
Yeah. I
They
remember
didn't take me that far.
they put me in the car and they started driving and then they turned down my Encoma and I was like, are you taking me home? And they're like, no, you're going to jail. And I remember being like, good. And the cop's like, good. I'm like, no, just don't walk me to my door in handcuffs, please. I would like to give me a few hours to talk to my parents.
I know. I remember
my mom specifically.
I remember they gave me a violation. My mom also worked for the town, so
Yeah.
that was scary.
Yeah.
Sobbing, I went down the next morning. I said, "Mom, I got in trouble,"
Oh,
and she was like, "It's fine. It's a violation." I was
Yeah.
like, "I didn't know."
Yeah.
And then I got a day of community service.
Oh my God.
So fun.
Oh,
What's something about our friendship you appreciate more now than you did when we were younger? And when I read it, the first thing I thought of was just that I think for most of my life I've not taken advantage, but I guess taken advantage of the fact that I have always known that you were going to be there and that you've always been there. So like I guess that is what now as an adult I appreciate because I see people that don't have that
Yeah.
and it sucks a lot. So the fact that I've never been without
Yeah.
in our friendship.
I know,
in that
even
respect.
in the few times that we've talked about like having our drifts. Yeah, I think that's the one thing that, and I think if you ask anybody that has known us for a long time, Leanna can probably attest to this. It's just like there's just a dynamic we have that I don't think that isn't matched often, and that's why when I'm like, I do think we've just always been linked somehow.
Yeah.
If we were snails, we were probably best friends snails. If
Yeah.
we were, I don't, whatever you believe in, whatever you think happened,
We were the sea turtles in the same current together, whatever,
sure. You're my lobster or whatever they fucking say. Even though I don't think that's a thing. I don't think lobsters
don't-
actually.
Yeah, well, lobster almost took my toe off.
Penguins though? Do penguins mate for life? Not that we're mating, but you know what I mean.
Maybe? I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what
Anyway,
you're saying. Couldn't tell
friends,
you, though.
soulmates.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that one of the most amazing things about having a friendship that's lasted 30 years is you have witnessed every version of me, like the messy ones. We've been fun together. We've had the best times. We've done all the carnivals. We've done all the chaotic bullshit. But then we've had the really quiet, like we've had the sleepovers where you talk about everything, and then you've had the sleepovers where you don't say anything, and those are just as important too. To be able to sit in silence with someone and know that they get you. Even though you don't have to explain anything, those pauses matter just as much as the words that fill those pauses.
Yeah. Like a molecular level.
Totally.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's
yeah.
a good one. I like that.
So I think if this episode resonated with you, I think it was a long-winded one, but I think it was fun, and we wanted you to kind of get to know us a little bit and our dynamic, because we are going to start diving into our books here and getting a little nerdy with
Here
it.
we go.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover. We're going to be getting into Sarah J. Maas's entire lineup, obviously, because I think there's so much excitement
The
for
Massiverse.
yeah. I think
Can't
there's so much
wait.
excitement for the new books coming out, and we just want to be fully prepared. Kelsey and I also, admittedly, have never read. I've never read Crescent City, and we both have never fully read the Throne of Glass
Yeah.
series. So this is total. You're going to be with us while we have our first reactions to these series. So that's really exciting for us to kind of share with you. But just talking about this episode real quick, if this resonated with you and it made you think of that one person that maybe you've had a longer friendship with, maybe you have a little distance with somebody that you did think about while we were talking about all of this stuff, shoot the text,
Reach out.
Yeah.
DM them.
Unless they're completely
Unless
toxic.
they did you wrong, and then don't. And then leave them in the dirt.
Just gonna
where they
backpedal real
belong.
quick, yeah.
Okay.
But if you know, you know. You
Yeah.
know, I think that when you find that person that is just such a easy connection that people look at, and when they ask me how I'm doing, they always ask, "How's Kelsey?" And I think that's pretty fucking funny and cool.
Yeah.
I'm always like, "She's good."
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are going to start deep diving into Throne of Glass. We're going to cover the first 3 books in our next episode, and just keep going from there. So,
Excuse me.
yeah. Anything to add before we wrap up?
Stay salty. I don't know.
So we'll see you back here soon, and we'll start getting into the books. We're Plot Twists and Deep Thoughts. Thank you, guys.
Bye.